My name is David Dessen. I'm a trial attorney in Willow Grove, Pennsylvania. I want to talk to you today about interest, not something that may often be thought about in dealing with RAC claims. But under the law, CMS is obligated both to collect interest and to pay interest when accounts are over 30 days old. CMS's obligation to pay and collect interest is set forth in a regulation at 42 CFR 405.378. This regulation governs both the collection and payment of interest by CMS in all circumstances relating to Medicare payments to providers. The rule contains a special provision for payment of interest in circumstances where an appeal has stopped automatic recoupment of interest. We'll talk about that in a little bit. However, for right now, the important thing to know is that interest starts to run or is due from the date of a final determination. In general, a final determination is an NPR, a written demand for payment, or a written determination of an underpayment. In essence, that means that whenever you get a writing saying that either you've been paid or that an amount is due CMS, that's the date from which interest begins to run. Interest in this context is significantly higher than interest that you might get at a bank, which makes it important that you get whatever interest you're entitled to. The interest rate is the higher of the rate fixed by the Secretary of the Treasury based upon prevailing consumer rates of interest or the current value of funds rate. The current value of funds rate is very low, but the earlier interest calculation is much greater. As of September 1st, 2012, the interest rate applied to either overpayments or underpayments is 10.5% per year. There are very few places in the current climate where you can earn that kind of interest. So it's important that whatever interest is due be paid. It's also important that you not pay any more interest than might be due. In the world of CMS, interest is not due on any amount that is recouped within 30 days, nor is it paid on any amount if payment is made within 30 days of the due date. So for purposes of Medicare, there's a 30-day window in which either payment can be made with no interest charge, or CMS can make payment and not owe any interest. If you repay the money immediately upon receipt of a demand letter, that does not foreclose a subsequent right to appeal. CMS has a program where you can authorize the immediate recoupment of overpayment demands. And if you do that, you can still appeal the actual demand that was made. In MLM Matters number 7688, CMS addressed the question of when or if interest is due where there is an automatic recoupment. In MLM Matters, CMS takes the position that the authorization of an immediate repayment is a voluntary repayment that does not accrue interest. However, CMS makes clear that the MLM Matters is not a regulation, is not law, and that the advice in it doesn't bind either CMS or a provider. So the question is CMS's statement in the MLM Matters correct? I think not. And I think not for a couple of reasons. First, I don't believe that an agreement to permit the immediate recoupment of a demand made by a RAC can be considered a voluntary repayment. The recoupment only happens after the demand is made and the demand